Trader.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. This is Julian here with your baby powder report, reporting in from the dystopian future again. I gotta get some new backgrounds. I'm going to get like a desk one day. I really want to get a desk. We will do that. Sorry for the late start. Not too bad. You guys know I always start like 5 minutes late. Just how it is. You know, it's tough in Bangkok. It's 11 o'clock at night every time here, so it's not perfect. Anyway, I will go through my normal spiel of shrinking myself, hiding the dystopian background, and we're going to get to work talking about the news, what's going on with investor sentiment, what's going on with the S&P, where's Bitcoin going, and then, as usual, I will take all your requests in Afterparty and look at any individual stocks you want, and we'll try to plan out some trades. I think we did a lot of really good stocks last week. Might even pick a few and see how they did and talk about it a bit. All right, let me get rid of this background. And I'll shrink myself. You guys love when I shrink myself. Okay. Just like that in the corner here. Go a little bit bigger. Okay, I think that's good as far as shrinkage. That's enough. Okay, let's look at what's going on with the dashboard first. You can see recently we had the S&P 500 cross over bullish. So it's pointing bullish, and crypto is very bullish, which is interesting considering how Bitcoin looks on the actual chart. I mean, there is clearly a potential for a bottom here. If we go to a 3-day, I'm preferring the 3-day lately. The 3-day really looks like it's at quite the standstill almost. See that? Get rid of this. Delete that. This is basically a standstill, but the stochastic RSI looks very bad. This is extremely bearish. But you have the this uptrending parallel channel holding things in line. Keep in mind this is a 3-day chart. Okay, and then we've got the S&P at 4172 right now. Took out the highs. Why did they do this? They hunted all the liquidity up here, right? A lot of liquidity. S&P hasn't been this high since the beginning of March, 2 weeks ago. If the market was considering to go down big league in the future, the best thing that they can do is hunt to the upside and take out all of the shorts, scare the crap out of people before heading lower. Let's see if that's really what's happening behind the scenes. I mean, we've got the breath pointing higher on both of these, which is really interesting, and I kind of disagree with it, but it could be right. It could. The performance speaks for itself. Let's look at the news. Forex news. Forex 3. Is there any big news this week? It's Thursday. Nothing crazy. We did have unemployment claims come out. They're in the green, so that's okay. And then tomorrow we have Powell speaking. So Powell's speaking at 11 Eastern time. It's 10 p.m. for me in Bangkok, but 11 Eastern time in the U.S. Obviously, that's going to cause some type of gyrations in the market. But let's see where they're going to want to pin it. Is this today or tomorrow? We want tomorrow. So 519. Where do they want to pin it? 4150 is where they want the pin. 4200 is the maximum. I don't think it'll go above that. But oftentimes when I see a lot of puts on the left side and not a lot of calls on the upside, sometimes that's when the market really pushes to the upside. I hate when I see this kind of formation, but it's possible that we might just sit in this zone. 4100, 4150, probably 4150 is max pain. Let's see right here, 4150 is the crossover area. S&P volume, this is the volume chart. This crossover point is the max pain. They're saying 4110. SPY max pain 407. They're saying, but I don't believe that. I think it's more like 4150 up here. Usually like to look at open interests. That generally works better. You can see max pain stock price 41, max pain 407. That's what they're saying. Really interesting. Highest put and call open interest is 400. Also interesting. But I think, yeah, 4150 would make sense from a max pain perspective. Okay, so that's Forex. We looked at the dashboard. We looked at the news. And let's look at investor sentiment. So 517. Wow. People do not want to change to a bull position. It's amazing how much this dropped. Only 23% are bullish, 37% neutral, and 40% bearish. It's a lower bearish number, but it's not where I want to see the market to get a crash. I don't like that. This is telling me that the majority of investors are still kind of bearish. And usually the market needs to go in the opposite direction compared to what most people are expecting. Especially in an environment like this where it's PvP and the Fed is not injecting tons of money. When the Fed's injecting money, I mean, that kind of changes things, right? There's not as much of a PvP requirement. But because they're not injecting money, there is a serious PvP player versus player going on in the market where it's totally a zero-sum game. And they have to kill anybody who is in the retail sector. Something to keep in mind for the bear case, like that there's potential that there are too many investors that are bearish and we have to move a lot higher first and kill all of them, including me maybe, because you guys know I have a bear bias. Okay, let's forget about all the fundamental stuff and the news. Let's just look at this. Let's look at it straight at the charts. All right, S&P, you guys know I always start with the S&P first. Something interesting that I wanted to point out. I have these notes on the chart. Majority of market movement lately has happened within 3 days of CPI report. Market usually moves on average 6.9%. So something interesting that happened was that all the past CPI reports, we had movement, right? CPI back here, okay, big move. CPI here, big move, big move. We haven't had that big move right here yet. We're kind of just sitting. So it's interesting that this time we did not get that big move. I just wanted to point that out. Let's go to a 3-day. Let's check the 3-day quickly. So on the 3-day, you can see this is kind of trying to break out. RSI is trying to break out. We've been stuck in this range. And on a daily chart, this is basically your breakout area right here. And it's starting to break out. And if it doesn't pull back, then that's a seriously potential breakout signal. And have to take that into consideration. And we could do something like this, right? Like that, up to 43.80. Take out all these highs, take out the August highs, and go back to basically the highs from April 2022. That would certainly kill a lot of bears. So potential bull scenario to watch out for. We can look at a 4-hour chart. Not looking that amazing. 8-hour too. Nothing too crazy here. I mean, if I could draw the RSI like this, and that's it. It's hitting the resistance point. So it almost took out the highs and then reversed. You see it's really coming down now. Let's look at lower time frames. Remember, the pin is 41.50, so market makers want it in that 41.50 area. Look at this reversal on the 1 hour. So there's your reversal potential. Right, like that. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. If this M's out and pushes lower, we could certainly pull back, no problem, to this 41.20 area. We can go to a little bit lower time frame. Look at there's definitely a big divergence that formed here, right? So price made a higher high, and RSI did not. There's your divergence, and that's why we got the reversal up here. The question is, where do we go from here? Well, you got to keep going lower and lower time frame. Right now, it still looks bearish to me. Not really much that can be said by looking at the higher time frames, but it certainly seems a bit exhausted and almost like it accomplished its objective, running the highs, taking out the liquidity, and then reversing. And maybe we close somewhere down here going into Friday, hit that max pain level, and then next week maybe we get the rally to just take out all the rest of the shorts. The only way I don't see this rally happening, so I don't see this rally happening if we can't push above this downtrend line. We got to do something like that, and that means price has to close up here, and then we pull back to here, and then we push up. And that's how we get the move to 43.80 or so. If that doesn't happen and we reject, then we should head lower. So we reject. Okay, something like that. I think we're coming to the end of this range. And it's going to go one of these two directions. I wish I could say for sure which way. But the only thing I can say for sure is we have to wait for it to develop and then make a decision after the breakout happens on the pullback. Until then, you're kind of playing with fire. Just waiting for this breakout to happen. Okay, so that's S&P. I'm trying to think, do I have anything else to say about the S&P? Not really. I think that's it. Let's look at, I do like to talk about DXY. I wanted to show the DXY index. Look at this breakout, right? So this is a daily chart. We go to a 3-day chart. Look at RSI here. Major breakout on RSI. I've been waiting for this. So this was your first move, and then here's the second confirmation I was looking for that really pushed things higher. If we can close up here in the next 6 hours, extremely bullish signal. US dollar could take off and head much higher. Potentially could even take out the old highs at 114. We go to 115. That's why gold is getting destroyed. Gold dumped an insane amount. Let's look at a daily. Yeah, the daily cross signal was actually down here. Right here. It makes it interesting that the market is rallying in the face of this major push higher in the US dollar. So that the breakout was here for RSI, and then this was your long spot right there. And then we've just been moving higher since then until you can see stochastic RSI is very bullish. Regular RSI is bullish until this uptrending RSI breaks down. I would say the dollar index has a huge upside potential. Okay, so that's the dollar, which is also adding pressure to Bitcoin, right? So not only gold but also Bitcoin. What is going on with Bitcoin? Let's take a quick look. By the way, I'm gonna pull up the YouTube. I kind of meant to have it over here, so I'm gonna put it right there so I can see any comments. Let's see here. Mute myself. Hello, people on YouTube. Hello, Stoned Ape. Hello, Coke. Hello, Norn. Welcome, guys. Sorry, I didn't have this pulled up, so I wasn't interacting as much. But now I see everyone in here. Feel free to ask any questions, interact, whatever you guys want to do. I've only got a couple more things I want to talk about. We've been going for about 12 minutes. I'm going to go another 10 minutes, and we'll probably call it a short show today. I just don't have that much that I want to get into. Hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. I'm going to like myself. I hit the like button for myself. But the really awesome stuff happens in the after party. I'm sure anybody that is a part of TRI that's watching this knows that the after party last week was especially exciting. This week probably won't be as exciting. I'm pretty tired, so I'm not going to stay up as late. But yeah, crazy stuff can happen in those after parties. I like myself every morning when I wake up. That's how you have to live your life. Like, you should definitely like yourself when you wake up every morning. If you do, you know you're doing the right thing. Hello, Megan. Hello, John. No, we're not going to talk about ladyboys this week. The way I like myself is by eating healthy and forcing myself to go exercise, even though I really hate exercise sometimes. All right, so let's look at Bitcoin, right? So on a daily chart, Bitcoin is actually trending down, right? And we can go to like a weekly and see what's happening here. On a weekly chart, you've got two different levels to watch out for, right here, like this, and then you've got this one that you could have drawn, and this was your first breakdown. So here was your breakdown and basically your short signal. Oh, I'm going to change this to be only visible on a daily. This was kind of your breakdown and your short signal, right? Right about there, up here at 29.30, and that's when I exited. TRI's long positions, and we've been sitting in cash ever since then, and I'm still sitting in cash now. You can see stochastic RSI also broke down. 3-day chart, stochastic RSI looks very bearish, and the regular RSI is sitting at our VIP level, not very bearish, but there's definitely been no reversal here at all. I I'm not sure if, let me check one other thing. Let's see if the uptrend has truly been broken on this 3-day chart. No break of the uptrend on the 3-day chart. You can see we're at this crossroads, which explains the confusion with the dashboard and why the dashboard on the crypto breadth indicator is pointing bullish actually. But I don't like what stochastic RSI is telling me here. I don't like this. This is very bearish. We're gonna have to see what happens down here on these lower time frames. So right now daily is bearish, right? And if I go a little bit lower, see 8 hours still bearish. 4 hour doesn't look great. I mean, it's just up and down, trending around this midpoint, kind of just flushing people out. I'm not really clear on the next move, but I don't think it's a bad trade to take a long down here at this support. Say it takes out 2650, you take a long and you set your stop right down here at like 2600. It's not a bad trade for potential upside of this uptrending channel, where the upside is all the way up here at 34. So not terrible. Let's look at the risk reward really quick of that. If you were bullish on Bitcoin and you want to take a long, you would want to take your long down here. Set your stop right over here, and your target is up here, all the way up, all the way at the midpoint of Bitcoin rally, 34. So your risk reward is 16 to 1. If you want to lower that and you just want to go to the old highs, you're still at a 7 to 1 risk reward. It's a great trade. So it's not a bad area to consider a potential long. If we get a pullback here, you might get stopped out. But if you're stopped out, it's not a huge deal. You lose a little bit. But if you're not and it reverses and we do get that move higher, you make out like a bandit. Yeah, halfway point of the channel is potential right there, right? 30,000 area. That makes sense. BFRN. That gives you an 8 to 1 risk reward ratio. It's not bad. It's just not a bad trade. It's not a bad location. This is the major potential for, this is the major area where if the Bitcoin rally wants to continue, this is the reversal area, right? So I can just get rid of this to help show you from a bigger picture perspective. And we've done so far what I expected. I drew this back in April, this squiggly line. I don't know why it's not brought to the front. Let me see. Visibility, visual order, bring to front. So this squiggly line, we basically followed it. We had our pullback. We didn't drop below the parallel channel yet into this major support zone. We just didn't tag it yet. But it is, these are different support areas that I've drawn out that I show basically every week with you guys. And we haven't had our sharp pullback into that. But I wanted to give a trade on the long side for anyone that's bullish because this parallel channel is still intact. That's the main reason. And we're just sitting there. So that's kind of my feedback on Bitcoin. I can look at a little bit lower time frames. I don't think they're as reliable. If you want to trade lower time frames, you really have to look at only price action and maybe order flows a bit. But with momentum indicators, I usually prefer to use them on higher time frames. There is a small M that broke down on Bitcoin with a target of 26,000. Something to keep in mind based on chaos levels. This doesn't look fantastic with Bitcoin. So potential to come all the way down to this area right down here. Maybe take out the lows here except for this wick. Before then potentially reversing. 15 minute. Let's see. Nothing clear on a 15 minute except that maybe we'll bounce. That's about it. That's all I'm seeing. But everything is pointing lower for now. I mean, why don't we look at gold really quick? I think gold has a nice parallel to Bitcoin and, you know, their US dollar reversal. Let's just do this. Yeah, look at this huge reversal in gold on a daily chart. See how we have an 8 coming in? Nice buying opportunity coming into gold soon. This is the potential area it could go to, 1920. And if we go a little bit lower time frame, you can actually see this is where we kind of emmed out, and I would have drawn it more like this. Emmed out here. and this is the 2.618 level, and the 4.669 is at 1883. I think it's a bit too aggressive. I'm gonna be more conservative. This is also an M and a breakdown, kind of like in this area, but again, still doesn't line up exactly the way I want. I think I prefer to look at simply the parallel channel and see what the breakdown looks like. Look at this. Did we really drop to 1955? Yeah, 1955. Look at that. Killed a lot of longs. I mean, I think, wasn't Peter Schiff like getting all excited and pushing gold? Every time gold rallies just a little bit and gets to new all-time highs, I feel like Peter Schiff is on a bunch of new YouTube channels and doing interviews all over the place. Did we tag the new, where did we go to? 2065, and where did we go in the past? It's basically the exact same area rejected for the past 3 years. It tags the same area and rejects. Imagine how many people got excited up here. I was seeing a lot of people talking about gold. I think Peter Schiff honestly is a contrarian indicator. I don't think he knows how to trade. All he is doing is selling his gold services and maybe some of his products. I would be very careful with him. Do I think gold is still in a bullish uptrend? Yes, I do. As long as this parallel channel is intact, it's still in an uptrend. And this RSI on the 3-day is actually still intact as well. Does that mean we couldn't wick down further? No, it doesn't. I think we can wick down easily to this 1940 level. Why not take out the lows from March? If you're going to rally, take out first, use the range to accumulate a bit, take out any last remaining people, make them bored of gold, and then take out any remaining people by dropping the price before you then rally. So I mean, they're in a very good position here. Whoever ends up buying down here for a reversal and a big rally, this is when the big rally can happen. But as of right now, the whole thing looks like crap. Like, this was your uptrend, this was your short on the other side here, 2050, and now it just seems like it's straight down. You could use like a 4-hour chart. You can see when is this going to end? Something like that is your first indication. Once that's on the other side of the trend line, then maybe it can potentially come to an end, and it is getting extremely oversold. So that's also something to really keep in mind. I would mark this level. I'm actually going to do it myself. It's a big support level. It's not just the parallel channel support. There is major support all here, right there, right? So that lines up nicely in that 1940 area. I'm going to add an alert. Cancel. Add alert. Yeah, that's fine. Only once. And I'm going to add an alert on this crossover. If there's ever a reversal. There we go. But no surprise really here. Do you guys have any questions about anything I've talked about so far? We're only about 23 minutes in. I'll talk another. I can do another 5 minutes or so, but I think I sped through things pretty fast. But a lot of markets they're not hard to read. The only one that's semi hard to read is the S&P, and even that looks like it's reversing and is still in this kind of chop solidation that will eventually break to the downside. But I already listed out the two scenarios. For gold, I would definitely be watching. If you can trade gold and you have an account that can trade gold, I would definitely consider longs at this support level, 1940 area. I just think the risk reward is really good. I can get a huge move to the upside, and then the downside is very limited. You know, you don't have to like take too much downside risk. I think it's quite limited. So that's kind of my thinking on the gold trade. Okay, I think that's it for today. I would be careful with S&P the next couple days. I think that there's a big move coming. You don't consolidate as a market for this long and then go nowhere. It acts like a spring. So when the market is sitting here for almost 2 months, it means it's preparing to spring in one direction or the other. And if you get that move to the, and if you're caught on the wrong side of the move, you're gonna get just smashed, absolutely smashed. So be very careful and take very calculated risk where you're okay with, if the trade goes wrong, you're okay with losing the amount you lose. That's my best piece of advice. Okay. Oh. Saw you recently mentioned, I saw Steve-O said something, got levels and taking swing. I wanted to show you guys UNG. This is a trade we've talked about a lot, and especially in the private shows. I am quite long on USG from down here on these levels, right down here. Oh, in this area, 650. Average cost, I think, for me is about 650. And you can see on a 3-day chart here, we broke out hard. This is natural gas, by the way, for anybody who's curious. There was your breakout right here. And then push higher, and it's pushing way higher. The only issue is that now a 9 is coming in. So that's kind of obviously a red flag. We could get a big reversal. But I'm targeting this 50% move here above these highs at around $10. Yeah, I know, Cook. I've talked. I think I was the one who presented that Simple FX thing. It's a decent platform. The fees are just high. So yeah, I mean, for UNG, I think it's too late to get in. I don't really like to talk about stocks that have taken off, but we talked about this a lot in previous episodes. It's natural gas. I shouldn't say stock. We talked about this a lot in previous episodes. I'm long quite a bit, so I'm very happy to see this finally getting a nice move. Maybe we'll get to my target up here, which is just, just around that $10 range. Kind of just using the chaos based off the range, and it's around $10. It would make sense to go up here. I mean, it's going to at least fill this gap at $9. So that's what I'm watching, and I'm glad that I'm in that trade. Is there anything else I want to talk to you guys about before we jump to the private? I think that's it. Yeah, great trade. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. If you're not currently a TRI member, consider, signing up for the free trial, jumping into the Discord and interacting with us. Brian, myself, or Sion are always online, plus our awesome TAs and instructors. And if you just enjoy the public shows, okay, awesome. I will see you next week, same time, same bad channel. And hope you guys have a great weekend. And for everybody else who's a member, I will see you in the after party in about 2 minutes. All right. Bye, guys.